said, I read the article that you wrote in June. It appeared in the New York Times and the San Jose Mercury, and what he called on was a program by the Obama administration on innovation, and had a cabinet position on innovation and entrepreneurship, which I think is a fine idea. And he called for 1 million startups. And that sounds pretty outrageous, 1 million startups. And if they only hired 10 people each, then you'd have 10 million new jobs. And but then I got to thinking about it, that actually it does make sense, because small companies can hire 10 people pretty easily. And some of them will be high-tech and some will be a low-tech or whatever. But that can work. And then what does it take? Well, then he gave me amazing statistics. In the United States, there are 6 billion businesses. Did anybody know that number? I didn't know that number. Right, so a percent increase in that. So how do you do that? And then, some need capital and some don't and all this. So I think the problem is that when we look in the totality of things, where there isn't much seed capital, there isn't much venture capital going to companies or whatever, there's actually a huge amount of activity going on out there. A lot of it is just data that isn't right in front of you. I mean, look at San Francisco. There's a boom here going south of Market again of social web companies. What we read in the paper is that there is, a budget crisis or this or that or whatever, or we read an article, that completely misses a lot of things. So I think one problem is the reporting. I think there's a lot of investment available. I think part of the problem right now is we just went through this terrible financial crisis, and that's going to have a hangover effect. 2008 and 9 were actually supposed to be banner years in terms of funding and IPOs and success and new companies started and all that. Every entrepreneur got blindsided completely by the financial crisis that came out of, trading operations and mortgage meltdown and all of this, which has nothing to do with job creation and entrepreneurship and moving science forward and curing disease. So I think we're all super frustrated. I think the real question is, how long will it take for the blockage which is caused in the financial system to unlock, so that then the later stage availability in the public markets is there, and then it thaws in on down into the earlier stage. That's the problem right now, because people who have a lot of capital to invest, there's a lot of cash out there in investment firms. They're not doing much with it because they don't know how long they're going to have to support the companies they're already in. That's what's going on. There's this stasis right now. So when will that thaw off? I'm not sure. But could there be policy changes that do it? Yes. The problem is, in my view, the policies go in the wrong direction. And I helped get him elected, and I'm very frustrated with President Obama right now because I feel as though not enough attention has been paid to this. The taxation rate on capital gains is good. They're thinking of raising it. I think that's going the wrong direction. Other countries, I think, must be chuckling that this is being considered. We talked about the FDA. I'm always generally a fan of our regulatory agency that works with this industry, and think that they need more budget, more money from Congress, all of that, so they have more resources, can hire more great scientists, have better systems. However, right now the attitude is the worst I've seen in my career. For medical devices, it's another trial and another trial, and then we have a company with an anti-infective for MRSA that ran a great trial, had great outcome, and the FDA said, great, why don't you do another one? So I think, that's policy, national policy. I think that's part of the problem.